Hello, I'm Richard Pater, the director of BICOM. So to update, last week the Israeli government passed an amendment to the basic law whereby cancelling the judge's ability to use the reasonability clause to cancel government decisions and government appointments. Despite last-minute efforts to reach a compromise and to soften the wording, they were unsuccessful, and the hardest version of the law passed. Some fear in Israel that this is a slippery slope leading to just the first stage of what will be a series of judicial reforms that will change the makeup of this country. The government argues that reasonability was chosen first, primarily because this was the reason that the judges used to cancel the appointment of Netanyahu's ally, the chairman of Shas, Aryeh Deri. Cancelled his appointment as a minister due to his tax convictions. They ruled that he was allowed to serve as a member of parliament, but not in a cabinet. So this law now potentially changes that and allows them to reappoint him if they choose to test that. Secondly, they thought this was the most ambiguous and clearly undefined issue of their whole package of judicial reforms. And indeed, the judges have a variety of other standards in which they can use to uphold the law and challenge the government beyond the reasonability standard. And they also thought for this reason that it would be the least controversial. But what they didn't take into mind is that the very essence of reasonability resonated with the protesters, because that's one of the main accusations of this government in the broadest terms, that they are unreasonable in the extreme, especially with the appointment, unprecedented, of hard right members of the cabinet in senior positions. So what happens now? We saw already the next day 3 big international credit agencies and banks warning that they may change Israel's credit ratings. This would have a big knock-on effect and damage the Israeli economy. We saw military intelligence warning that the 4 legs of Israel's deterrence, which is a strong IDF, the reliance and relationship with the US, most powerful country in the world, Israel's strong economy and the cohesion of the people, will work all together as you assess Israel's deterrence, all of which have been weakened by this current legislation. Now, we're now going into summer recess, so the hope is amongst many that the government and the opposition will return to the talks to find a consensus and to only advance from here on in such a consensus. However, there are other elements of the government that see this just as the first course in order to continue their full reforms, and so the protests will continue as well. Watch this space for more updates.